Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. I am Mabel Dunsin. I speak about faith, relationship, lifestyle, life in general, any other thing that comes to mind. So on this channel with me again, I am stressing that again because of Adiola is Adiola. And so on this episode, we'll be discussing faith. We'll be discussing faith in God. But first, Adiola, what can you say about faith?
Faith means trust. It means belief, be it in somebody or something.
Yes, it means trust, like trusting in the ability of a particular thing or a particular person. And since we'll be discussing faith in God, I'll love to use the definition of Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1, which says, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Yeah, clap for me. At least I know somewhere in the Bible. It's not easy. So faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. We'll be making use of hope and evidence of things not seen. When you talk about hope, you're talking about expectation. You're expecting something literally. Then when you talk about evidence of something that is not seen, like you haven't the what you're expecting isn't materialized yet, isn't visible to people, even to you. So we can say, for example, a young girl, let me say I'm in need of a shoe, and then I walk up to my mom to tell her that, Mom, I need a shoe, and then she promises me, or let's say she just tells me that, okay, I'll get you that shoe. Yes, there will be this kind of joy within me, even though it is not yet visible to me. I'll have this kind of joy, and there will be this belief, like it's all about belief. So there will be this kind of belief that yes, my mom will get it for me. So faith also means trusting God when it doesn't make sense. Trusting God when everything around you isn't giving you the answer you want. So faith is very, very deep, very, very deep. And we have several stories of people who trusted God, who had faith in God in the Bible. We have Abraham, we have David.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
he inquired of God that God should I pursue, and God said yes. If he didn't trust God, he won't obey that instruction.
Mm.
He had this belief in God.
I should pursue. So there is this story of the children of Israel when they were about leaving the land of Egypt, and then they got to the Red Sea. When they got to the Red Sea, they had the Red Sea alone was a problem to them because no way they wouldn't have crossed that sea. And then at that point they couldn't go back to, because in fact I think while going through that verse of the Bible, I was like, maybe the last person amongst the crowd then would be like running to the front, that no, I'm not the one that want to be behind. I don't want to be the one that want to be behind. This fear. Although there's always that fear whenever we are on queue. Maybe we want to do test and they ask us to we are in the queue, and then you're about getting to the front, you run to the back again. No, I'm scared. So talk more of death coming behind you, and then there is a problem at your front. You just be like, let me just be at the middle, and so when they got to the front, when they got to the Red Sea, they turned to their leader, Moses, and they were like, what's up? You told us that we should go. Like, God told you that we should go. And why is this here at this point in time? Like, what's up? In fact, if the Israelites were to be the Nigerians of this day, we would have taken out our phones and be like, yes, so and put the hashtag on Twitter. Yes, so Moses has brought us thus far. Red Sea at the front, the Egyptians at the back. And when Moses was to reply, Moses was like, don't be afraid, stand still, be quiet, and be watchful. Like, who would have thought, like, even if I was there, I would have been like, you are telling me not to be afraid. Do you want to kill me? You would have left me with the Egyptians and let them just deal with me, and I would have continued to be their slave. Or what do you mean? You're telling me not to be afraid. You're telling me to be silent. I should be silent. See death at my front, see death behind. What are you saying? When I read that part, I was like, God. So faith is just all about making your request known to God. To me, I just feel it's about making your request known to God, bringing your problems to God. And then, there are sometimes that we run into a particular problem, and instead of telling God that God bring me out, we start to complain. God, I have seen this happening to me, and you cannot do anything, and you cannot do this and that. So faith is just all about making your request known to God. After making your request known to God, you have to sit back. Like, just be rest assured, since you've already, even before that particular circumstance happened to you, God is already aware. He just wants you to like walk up to him and tell him that, God, okay, I literally know you are aware of what is going on with me, and at this point I am telling you to come and attend to it. And since you've told God, you just have to be calm. You just have to stand still, because faith is just all about standing still. You've made your request known, watch God. Like, be silent. Even when you are silent, you tend to listen to God, you tend to hear God when you're silent. So it's just all about watching, standing still, you're not afraid, and then expecting the salvation of God. That's even when the salvation of God will come. And when you talk about salvation, you're talking about deliverance. You're talking about answers to your request. Do you have any example you want to discuss with us?
Okay, before I go into an example, you made mention of something. You said that faith is about you expecting something from God, and then you believe in it. Yes, it reminds me of this particular verse that says that we should not be anxious about anything, but in prayer and supplications with thanksgiving, we should make our request known to God. So after that, the peace that surpasses all, that surpasses human understanding, it will keep our heart. So when we've made our request known to God, it is required of us that we should believe that it has been done, that God has settled everything. So how can we how he said after you believing, it means it's the next thing is the peace that surpasses all human understanding. So when you pray and you believe in God, there is this joy, there's this peace that comes to the mind that I believe God has done it. And you made mention of another thing, that faith is about when things doesn't make sense, but you still trusting God when things does not make sense. It also reminds me of another verse that says we walk not by sight but by faith. So telling us that we walk not by sight is that we are not looking at human perspective. We are not reasoning. We are not reasoning according to human wisdom, but we have this belief in God. We are not looking at our surroundings, but we have this belief, like our father in the Bible, Abraham, said against hope, he still believed, that he hope in God, he still believe in God, even though he was of age, like he was 100, he still believed that. He was not seeing himself as that my body is dead already. He still believed in God.
Even at that point when God promised them that they will have a child, like
so faith is about you're not looking at the medical results, you're not looking at your physical surroundings that surrounds it, that I don't think this thing, no, because we don't walk by sight, we walk by faith. We're not looking at we are not walking according to the wisdom of men. We are walking according to the wisdom of God. That it even says in the Bible that even the foolishness of God is wiser than men, and even the weakness of God is what is stronger and mighty than men. So we're not looking at that. I don't think this thing. Can me that I failed. Can they give me admission? Me that I'm of age. Can I still give birth? Like, you're not looking at that, but you're trusting and believing in God, who is able. Say He is able to do exceedingly and abundantly. So you're not looking at that. This thing, no, we're not, because we have a Father in heaven. There's this verse again that says that we should ask and shall be given, and there's another verse that says that we should not worry about what we are going to eat or drink, or what we are going to wear. The God who clothes the lilies of the valley, how much more we, His children. So faith is beyond human understanding. Like, And according to, there's one thing that actually struck my heart in the life of Abraham is they say it's because he believed it was accounted unto him for righteousness. It means there's another level of faith that to say righteousness. If like you would have, your faith would have grown before they can say that you are righteous. Not that he pulled mountains, not that he did miracles, but what, because he trusted in God, they said he's a righteous man. And that same Bible says, let's say to the righteous that it shall be well, you shall be well with thee. So look at it. So you trusting in God, there are blessings attached, because when you trust in God, so many things will happen, because God, this our God is a jealous God. So if you are saying that, God, I believe you are able to do what you are still you are not even bothered. That's why it says again that cast your burden, cast your cares, for he cares. So when you are cast, God, I'm casting every of my cares, I'm casting every of my anxiety, every of my burdens to you. It shows that you've surrendered all. So faith also it's also about you surrendering all to God. And God, this is me, and I'm surrendering myself. I'm surrendering this battle. I'm surrendering this issue to you because I know you can do it. So that is when God will, he will take over. Like you've given everything to God, and He's gonna take over. That no. So
Thank
that's
you.
what I can say.
You know that part of Abraham you mentioned, I think in Isaiah chapter 51, verse 2. It also made mention of Abraham and Sarah. Like because they trusted God, God blessed them and He increased them. So I just feel faith, or should I say, faith is more of leaving everything for God to solve. Like not trying your own way, not like you're telling God that, God, I want you to solve this thing for me, and on the other hand you're trying to work it yourself, like, oh, let me do it like this. Like just trusting God, like surrendering all. God, I'm leaving everything for you, and just handle everything for me. Yeah, so faith is very, very deep. It literally, to me, faith means telling God your request, making your request known to God, and then sitting back, watching God, not being afraid, and keeping quiet, and waiting for God, or waiting for the manifestation of the request I've made known to God. So, and if God doesn't answer it now, whenever He's going to answer it is the appointed time. Whenever the request will be answered will be the appointed time. And you know something about this faith is, should I say, it gets one really, really crazy, because at some point when you really need that particular thing, you just be like, God, is it are you silent? Why are you so silent about this? Are you not hearing me at all? Like are you not hearing me? Yes, I'm like, are you not hearing me? Why are you being silent? I really need this thing. And so on and so forth. I could remember the time I needed admission. When that one is even another story for another time. I was just like, at the point I stopped praying. But looking back now, I now saw the reason. So I got in. Yes. And even at school, I was just like, if I had gained admission when I actually wanted it, I would have really gone bad. Oh my God. So, like, just looking back, I was like, yes, it was really worth the wait and everything. So, faith in God means trusting, believing, sitting back after making your request known to God, although it may be very hard, but you just have to trust God.
And the truth.
Yes, you just have to trust God. So far, you've made your request known to God. Just sit back, just watch. Then do not try to sort things out, because when you tell God that, God, do this particular thing for me, and you're going back to sort things, God just be like, okay, now let me see how you do it. And
just
then
like the Israelite that you told us about.
Yes.
That I said they should wait, they should sit back and see
the salvation of God.
their Lord. That the Egyptians they sit to do they see them.
Yes.
Look at that. Oh God.
You know, something happened to me recently, and I was just thinking I could just get my way around. After praying, I was just like, let me just try this thing. Let me just try it. I tried it didn't work. The second time it didn't work. Third time it didn't work. And just at the point, I was just like, God, God, like I was like, I've tried everything. It's not working. This thing is not working. But I believe in you, and I hope you just get to work things out. But seriously, I was just like, even at that point, there was this. It was God actually talked to me. Was like, Maybe you've tried everything. We're not hands up, or what are you still waiting for? You've tried everything and it's not working. So Sure, you now reveal everything to me. So at that point, I was just like, okay, God. So I think after making our request known to God, I know after making our request known to God, we should just try to sit back, even if you want it so badly, even if you want it so badly, just pray to God to give you the grace to be patient.
Hold on to it.
Yes, for what
Now
He
faith
has
begins
planned.
to grow.
Yes, for you. So that's it. Trust God when it doesn't make sense. Don't forget to trust God when it doesn't make sense. Thanks for joining us on
You know,
this episode, and I pray that
our faith will
our
become
faith in
stronger,
God will become stronger.
Amen.
And to those who do not have faith in God, I pray that from this moment on, God will give you
We
God will give
revive
you
that
yes,
faith.
we revive. No, if you haven't, I'm not saying if you had.
Okay.
Yes, if you if you haven't, I pray God will
Sprout it.
speak to your heart, and God will enable you to hold on to Him, even when it is not easy. It is not always easy. So God will give you that grace. And to everyone that has made their request known to God and is still waiting for God, I pray God fastens and answer you in time. And I pray that even if God doesn't answer what you want, I pray God will do beyond your expectation, beyond what you've prayed for. So do not forget to trust God when it doesn't make sense. I pray God gives us the strength to keep trusting Him when it doesn't make sense. I pray God praise for everyone. Thanks for joining us on this episode. I hope you enjoyed us. Do not forget to comment. Do not forget to subscribe. It doesn't bite. It doesn't bite. Just click on that subscribe button and don't forget to share with friends. Don't forget to like. See you next time.
Bye.